It was one of those quiet, rainy evenings in early autumn, the kind where the world feels a little heavier and yet somehow softer. Mark was driving home from work, headlights cutting through the misty drizzle. He had just finished a long shift at the hardware store, tired and ready to collapse into his couch with a cup of tea. That's when he saw it, a small shape on the side of the road, motionless, barely visible in the rain. He slowed down, frowning. When he stepped out of the car, the sound of rain grew louder, soaking his jacket instantly. It was a dog, mud-covered, thin, with a paw bent at an awkward angle. "Hey, buddy," Mark whispered, crouching down. The dog lifted its head weakly, eyes full of fear, but also something else. Hope. Mark didn't think. He just acted. He wrapped the trembling dog in his jacket and drove straight home, ignoring the water pooling in his car seat. At home, he gently cleaned the dog's wounds, using warm water and a towel. The dog didn't fight back. It just stared at him quietly, as if trying to understand. Mark could see the scars, signs of neglect, maybe abandonment. "I'll call you Buddy," he said softly, and somehow the name stuck. Days turned into weeks. Mark took Buddy to the vet, fed him, stayed up late to make sure his leg healed. Slowly, Buddy began to trust again. He wagged his tail, followed Mark from room to room, and sometimes rested his head on Mark's lap. A silent thank you. Mark wasn't used to having company. His apartment had always been too quiet, too neat, too empty. But now, every morning began with paws scratching the floor, a bark asking for breakfast, and eyes full of joy just to see him wake up. Neighbors began to notice. "You got yourself a dog, huh?" Old Mrs. Green smiled one morning. Mark chuckled. "He kind of found me, actually." Buddy became part of the neighborhood, greeting mailmen, chasing leaves, and sitting by the cafe door while Mark read his book inside. There was something almost magical about him, how easily he made strangers smile. Then one day, a woman approached them at the park. She looked around 30, carrying a photo. Her eyes widened. That's Max, my dog. He ran away months ago." Mark froze. His heart sank. He looked at Buddy, now Max, wagging his tail between them. The woman knelt, tears filling her eyes. But then Max, turned and pressed his head against Mark's leg. He didn't move. The woman smiled faintly. "He must really love you." Mark hesitated, then said quietly, "He's welcome to visit anytime." She nodded. "Keep him. He's found where he belongs." That night, Mark sat on the porch, Buddy beside him. The stars peeked through the clearing clouds. He patted the dog's head. "Guess we both got a second chance, huh?" Buddy gave a soft bark, almost as if saying, "Thank you." And in that moment, Mark realized something profound. Sometimes, love doesn't arrive with fanfare or grand gestures. Sometimes, it limps to your door on a rainy night, scared, broken, and waiting for someone to believe it still deserves a home. Sometimes, it limps to your door on a rainy night, scared, broken, and waiting for someone to believe it still deserves a home.